Fierce Esports versus NEDS as we get underway on Cash, which, as we said previously, is one we haven't really seen too much this season in the Prem. It used to be all the rage back in the day for the UKCS scene.
And all the rage apparently is boosting onto it. Boost. So it's two P250s, smoke flash on each of them. I imagine this is going to be potentially a B-split based off of this movement of the bomb. However, when they get towards the side, at least they're trying to fake that highway control, or at least get it. But with Castle at the back of Checkers, I feel like this could be an issue, but he's actually rotating immediately. It goes even more worse because Mog falls down at track. It means this rotation has to come through because they're really not sure about the situation. But that B-site's free.
Yeah, they've got in. They're actually trying to fight it quite heavily though. You can see Fazan's gone for the early push. JCMX is able to trade it back then. As Hype gets eliminated, another one goes down. All of a sudden it's just on Emin, who's quickly dealt with. In all fairness, Whisk's pretty much put them in a position to win that as the aggression then came out towards CT. They've all crumbled to the might of J.
Yeah, Whisk's had a few strong pistol rounds for NEDS so far this season. Remember that first game during week 1? He actually did get 3K to start off, but then they did falter though. Remember, they went down 10-1 despite winning the pistol. So hopefully, one of the things we asked for from them was actually upping their ability to convert these rounds further and get a nice early start into the game. They are going to be challenged though by the Deagles of Fierce. Obviously with that plan, it means the Byron will be coming in next. But they actually decided to give themselves a chance at winning this one as well by getting the Deagles in, as I mentioned. Casa actually willing to challenge this on the other side of things. Going quite well from there, gets that first kill, but Emin on the other side of things gets one to Emmy as well. But very defensive setup from the CTs. Kind of willing to let them walk into the angles, but Emin, I think he's caught him off here. Really nice movement. They probably can get a punt if they do get across here. But just like I said, they needed to get a nice, good start to the game.
Yeah.
It immediately goes sour. Like one pick and suddenly the complete defense is gone.
It's all crumbled away there. And it has fallen down to just Casa. He's got the organ hand. Try and clean up a little bit, but staying alive is the best bet. The likelihood of him winning this round is dwindling further and further as Fierce find more damage. And it's not ideal for NEDS, really. That's the reset round that's going to come through. Capers will kill him. Not going to grab the Org, but that's 2 M4s saves. They're going to be happy days with that one anyway.
Does show the power of those Deagles, though, doesn't it? It's just the fact that they had still, I think it was like 2150 at the lowest on the Deagle players. And they still managed to win the round anyway. And NEDS, obviously, they have to force back into it because they're on a situation where it's a double eco. Because that is one of the early things that people mentioned when that economy change came in. On the CT side, if you were to win the pistol and not convert, your money is in complete disarray, I suppose. Like, you only get 1400. The other team got 19 previously. And essentially, it gives them a very nice and easy way to get into this game, or build a further lead from it. They're making a lot of noise with that boost. So instead of jumping the correct way up, which is onto the white, or the white bit that we can see on the close angle here, they're trying to jump the full way, which makes noise and also requires you to do a perfect crouch jump. Unneeded risk.
Yeah, not necessarily worth it. Emmy's now trapped towards forklift, spams off a couple of shots with the CZ, but there is no real connection, so too much damage being mustered up by the man as he will be eliminated. Moxley's allowed to get 1 kill with the Deagle, but that is about it before he's traded back, Ben. And it's already now just into 4 versus 1. JCMX, if he can save the AK, it is the best bet for him. But Fierce been looking pretty good into these rounds.
Yeah, you can see the hunt is already on the way as well. We've probably got a good 35 seconds here. However, it doesn't look like they're trying to force it too much, as they all have rifles anyway. It's not... It's like you have a guy with a MAC-10 who might be able to prosper from getting that AK off him. They can instead just assume, okay, there will be an AK into the next round. We'll slow hunt him, but it's not. We're not trying to force the issue. And obviously, it's unlikely that NEDS do force into this next round due to having next to no cash, really. You've got some players who will be on, what, 2350. That's your highest. You'll drop a deal across to someone. It's not really worth it. You hope the AK makes a big play. So Whisk actually takes the Deagle, and some Deagles are still being bought by them as well. So the thing is, Casa has bought that Deagle. He'll get 2400 if he doesn't get a kill this round, which means he'll be on 3750, which is enough for M4 Kevlar not Org Kevlar. So he's risking potentially just having a rifle, no armor, or with just armor. I do like seeing people use that boost in Z though, with the gun actually there. Probably unfortunate it's not going to kill. The hype should get the info. That's good information though, that a Deagle and an AK spotted. So that you can assume that's obviously the dropped Deagle, the AK as well. The A site is a preference when it comes to doing these anti-ecos though. You can Molotov all the angles out clearly if you need to.
See utility going in, flashbang to allow them the leeway to bombard towards the site. Fortunately, it's not really going well for them. Quite staggered, the flashbangs held them back. A little bit scared on the entry. Yemi swings wide with a scavenge Mat 10 as well and puts them in a bed. All of a sudden, it's a 2 versus 4. The bomb's down just behind Starline. Mog opts to play it safe as well. Doesn't actually push in for the information, just holds for the meantime and backs off. Capers will be able to recover the bomb. And there is still time to play with, Ben.
Yeah, it's 40 seconds. They guarantee that the site is theirs. And that's a good fact to find out, because that was the middleman in between all of this setup. Because if they knew somebody ran across to the site, you could have a push from heaven, vents, and then potentially behind as well later on into the round. But now you've got to assume it's in their favour. There's still Jason X who has armour though, is the scary bit. Hype thinking about that peak. He kind of knows he needs to make some sort of information play. Somehow he's actually managed to get up to vent and get the kill. But that's still an AK for Hype here, and he actually has a smokes play with if he needs it.
Ooh. Hype instantly goes for it though, wanted to try and make the 1v1. Wins the first fight, but goes back down on the trade as Emmy was in hot proximity to try and trade that one back. And it is being kept very close. It's 2 for 2 now between the two sides as the bomb defuse does come through.
Yeah, I mentioned you tend to favour that A bomb site for the anti-ecos, right? But you kind of usually, obviously we saw those Molotovs coming through every now and then, we saw the flash onto site. But the fact that they didn't do anything to highway, it meant so much. Like you had to play from truck, I think you had one highway as well. There's a lot of angles you can be hit from. And when you're getting hit from different angles along your way to site, you kind of feel like you have to fight back sometimes. Like you have to take a shot towards that and you might delay yourself getting to the site, which causes even more confusion. I think there was a perfect anti-flash thrown as well by the CTs, which caused even more confusion. Nevertheless though, Fierce straight in with another buy round. Didn't start very great though, Capers going down to 10 HP for the start of it all. So it is interesting to see the meta of the whole CT side not being as reliant on grenades. Nowadays, like obviously the AUG being $50 more expensive, it does kind of mess up your usual Kevlar money into grenades, right? And a lot of teams are now more willing to just go for the AUG Kevlar, such as when we saw London on Mirage, for example. Mog making good use of that AWP that they did invest into as well. Same thing for Emin though. That's an interesting Molotov. Not too sure if that landed correctly.
No, I mean, I assume it was supposed to molly run back, but it did get stuck on the roof. Didn't actually.
I think it did dribble a bit onto default, but it shouldn't have done enough to force anybody out that much.
Bit of a scratty fight.
Yeah, it's a lot of picks like all over the place. Really, it's not as much. Like in my mind, this feels like a bit more of a puggy sort of round, or at least setup from the T side.
Yeah.
Like having two pairs working together, and obviously Hype was towards B on his own. They're actually going for the fight towards CT, which a very good call because the trade was there. However, now he's Caster on his own. He's got Ket. He has a Molotov as well. However, Emin's still alive with a AWP. If they double towards quad, it could be an issue. But he shouldn't really get a chance to use that Molotov correctly.
Caster. Slow walks up. He comes round. Keeps him on his toes for the meantime, but he actually does find the first elimination. Imin instantly dropped. Type's going to be able to trade it back with the AK headshot. Saves the AWP as well and wins the round. It's very close for comfort, and that's pretty much been the story of this entire game so far. The 5 rounds we have seen have been quite back and forth, Ben.
Yeah, Hype's starting off strong though. There was the round that they did lose. He started 4K into that. And he seems to be carrying on the form from Epic Line. I believe he was the top rated player when he was using a filter in minimum 9 maps. So you've got to be thinking with that in mind. Actually, I think Carcass just went for that spawn tag. You know the one that lands in towards Z?
Yeah.
He did actually tag Whisk very early on into the round. This should be a kill for Capers, but there is armor. Moldy, it's a second. And he should get out as well, so that's very poor from the T's, really. That Molotov misses as well. And he actually trades the gun to a full health player. He's done very well in that situation.
Three versus four. No commit just yet from Fierce, being able to move around the map. It is open to them. Have the bomb in their control. Ton of utility still as well. You've got 3 flashbangs there, 2 smokes, the double molly. Use a little bit of that utility towards mid. That's one of the smokes gone to block off Z, so there is no information play from NEDS. As we hit about the minute mark and they start repositioning back towards A. It is technically only Emmy that's there. But Mog is in close by, just waiting behind the smoke.
The thing is, the longer they wait, the more likely it is in their minds that it's going to be a highway play, just because there's been no information towards there at all from either of the players, which is why you see that slight move across. Cass is now playing towards Z. We've got Mog close towards highway as well. They clear up highway, but they didn't clear it properly, so Cape is still alive. He gets a kill. He should get Mog as well. Mog's so low.
Ooh.
But Emmy's still on the site, causing a nuisance.
Yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate there. Couldn't actually get the kill off. Emmy's just able to dance around, being very annoying. Hits the CZ shot as well. One bullet right between the eyes there for Carcass and snipes him down. It's all up to the 1v1. Cape is sprints his way back over. He's got a free cane to the round. It would need to be the quad kill, but as he peeks into it, the AWP, no blindness, clear vision. And Emmy will be able to hit him with that nice little lovely bow and arrow, Ben. It's Valentine's Day. Themed week.
I was going to say, it's Thursday. But nonetheless, we like celebrating things that are happening nearby to penalty.
Well, that's, yeah, you know, we're the Monday central of, if every holiday lasts 7 days, we'd be the Monday.
Yeah. So Fierce do something no plan either into that round, and the money being so low from the previous one as well. It means Cape is obviously, he's able to get AK armor and still be on similar cash to his teammates. So it's a bit of a hero play in mind here. That's the information that there's a player towards Z at the very least. That should give them enough info that this is a single, you know, a 2-1-2 fully from the CTs. The question is, what do they want to do with that? Because Mog needs to make sure he can kind of check it at the very least, but Cape is holding an angle that's so tight, I don't think Mog will be in that, you know, in a possibility to face that, even. On the other side of things, though, there was an opening pick towards A, which was immediate trade on the other side of the map. This B-bomb site's been a bit uncomfortable in terms of having control of like checkers and also the outside portion. They've been mostly towards site when Hyper's been pressuring it. That's a nice kill to find, but surely the information is there. There's nobody Z. Carcass is fully through. Whichever direction he checks, he should be able to get a free kill.
Oh, Carcass.
Surely in the second. Oh.
Wanted to try and make it 2 on the body count, Ben, but does get put to bed. As it falls down to just Capers and Fazan now. It's the 2 versus 3, sprinting their way up towards the B-bomb site. They need to get this early pick if possible. They've got good support. Casa gets the shot off in the back of the site, is able to just stay alive. So low as well. 26 HP. Capers sees him walks through the smoke, had to flick down from the man above, eliminated Whisk. But lost it out there, Ben. They were coming towards him as well. There could have still been an actual connection into that. He could have won that round.
From our POV, it looked like, obviously there is the issue of the smoke,
yeah,
where sometimes people's feet are more out when we're watching through, you know, spectate point of view.
He looked pretty exposed.
He looked rather out.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was going to be one of the ZZ, spray down, get the second guy, and then sight, you know, the last guy's there. And it's only one hit. But with 2 alive, Fierce actually decided, let's buy into this one. It's a very low utility round. They're forcing overboost with that smoke. However, Mog, I think he's spammed mid on the floor there from highway. So that's mid completely taken. They need to get some information on the other side of the map. Whether it's through A main, Flash is ready for it, or through B. Flash will come through, but there's nobody in here. But that's enough information for them to potentially hold that area. You can see a similar style play being made towards B as well. They kind of want to be able to be close enough that they can get an early call for the rotation. The 1 smoke lands towards White Box. There's such a... not even a flash there available to help Carcass in that position. Means that the T's are getting caught out. It's been long enough into the round that NEDS are trying to make plays across the map. Because they know they don't have mid control. We need to make something happen. But Fierce, there's no real game plan in mind. There's no, we want to go to this bomb site this round. They don't really know about looks things. .3v5 though, they have to go towards this B site. It's the last chance.
This is where Jay really has to be quite a big nuisance. It's got backup. Casa. Let's try and give him a hand, but there is no chance at all. They sprint their way in. Fix heat up a little bit. Gets the flick around towards the headshot. As he is doming them. But it's still quite an awkward position to be in. 20 seconds. The bomb's going to get planted by Capers. They've got the site control. Emin just playing off-site by the box, waiting for the push to come through. Then, bit of an awkward adjustment as he was trying to backpedal an instant dink on Capers as well. Could not be a more awkward position for him to be forced into, Ben. As everyone sprints up towards the site, NEDS will get the round.
Yeah, very well played from them in terms of the actual first 45 seconds or so. As soon as they recognised it was a buy, they lose mid, they then get the map information towards A. We saw that complete A main control come through. Even towards B, they were playing a bit more aggressive. And it's nice to see that sort of proactive CT side coming through from them. Fierce now, though. They are very reliant on the pistols. I think I think that round was enough to show them we kind of need to have full utility if we're going for a buy round. Or at least have more than just 3 smokes. Lovely nade. The second one, not so much. I think the second one did 1 damage. So that's the VP split coming through.
Actually got on towards the site, but they don't fully clear it. Takes a little while to actually get that frag down to eliminate Casa. Over Capers keeps the pain train rolling. Can't quite grab the AK though because it's fallen so far back in the vent. But he's still limited to just the CZ. No weapon to work with. Whisk comes back in, hot in his tail, dives through the vent. Makes a fair bit of noise though. It's like an elephant, Ben. Stamping everywhere. Capers waits for the response from the second man, playing it very well. Gets the elimination, is all up to Whisk now. 2 flashbangs, he's got utility. He has that all-important kit as well to try and save the day for them, but he is spammed down by Emin and will get eliminated. And this is just so back and forth. They're trading these rounds every time.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the B-hole did enough, in my mind at the very least. They got 3 kills, they did some damage as well. But the rotations in were so... My mind wants to say split, right? Because some of the players, like, I think it was West. Oh, it wasn't West that came in first. It must have been Mog then in that case. It was the mid player. Came flying through the vent, got caught by Capers as we saw.
Yeah.
But then there was such a gap between every single player that came in. Nobody was covering each other's backs properly. Obviously, Emmy got caught by Capers actually holding that angle so well. But it really needs to be better. 4 spires in as well, but it's all pistols. And you can see the teamwork coming through there as well. Capers having a very solid game so far. However, Carcass, that is the bomb.
Yeah, Mog has gone for the info play. He's been able to push the whole way through up towards Starline and pick up the AWP, and he actually gets given a position there for free now as well. The quick flick around. Takes down Fazan in a matter of seconds, and this is an alright position to be in. His teammates have gone down, but you can really make this a costly one, Ben.
Yeah, he needs all 5 to make this round doable, but they're all coming from 3 different directions. Which makes this very, very rough. Even more so when they're slowly advancing like this. He gets a bit more conscious about where the enemies could be. The bomb's not actually fully in his sight either.
Ooh. That would have been the moment he was waiting for as well. If he got the quick connection there onto the second player, it would have been huge. Rather than try and fight it and run the risk of potentially losing the round, though, they were smart about it. They grabbed the bomb, dashed the entire way straight through, so they don't have an opportunity to go down and leave the bomb in an awkward spot. So they actually do get beaten by time into the round. And Mog starts pushing back up.
So he does have a kit here still as well. So imagine we've got like about 30 seconds left. We'll spend 5 games towards truck. If he checks up properly, this is a 3 kill into Capers and then just a 1v1. But that seems ooh. There is actually a spot we can get to it as well. It's doable, but Hype's so close.
Yeah.
Really well played from Mog to make that round even potentially winnable. Though. Like, it was a round out of nothing.
If the position he was in to just go for a bold play like that.
It was just the AWPer and beat my mid-main. And you know, he's just transferring the bomb across, doesn't really think there could be somebody close. But in terms of economy, that could have been a very big builder for Fierce. Now we see only 2 players really having money for next round if they were to lose. I think the main player here is on Mog and Emmy. They both got flash each. If mid-control were to come through, I imagine it's a burst from Highway. And then obviously the other side of things, if they smoke Highway, we can probably just burst onto the A site through it. But Fierce seem to be doing quite well in terms of actually clearing their angles when they need to on the eco rounds. At least compared to the second one we saw.
Ooh. Carcass, bunny hopping down middle there, nearly gets caught from the sideline, but Capers will save him. And things are starting to come together for Fierce now. Bit of an awkward round on the previous one. Obviously there, as you'd expect, they do lock it down. This is where they get tested once more. NEDS, they've actually got the inventory to fight with.
No kit, however, is the thing that could be concerning. Obviously later on in the round, with 4 smokes, no Molotovs in the play either. Which means boost is potentially free here, if they were to go over, which looks like the plan. But it's a triple mid setup. And I feel like... taking nades on his head. Typically it's quite a difficult thing to be holding mid without the Molotov there. If they were to come quick, you're stuck in that firefight rather. But it looks like it's going to be an A execute with a lurker over boost, and that lurker's actually dropped after doing the smoke. So it's a full 5-man execute against a team with no Molotovs to stop anything. They only have weapons.
Ooh, they are just sprinting out towards the site. It's been a nice execute so far. Everyone's been able to get in. They've only lost 1 player in Zan. JCMX sneaking up around. He's trying to do a bit of a tyre change here with the organ hand. Oh, I was just on 1 HP. JCMX will decapitate Emin. Likelihood of the retake is getting slimmer and slimmer as this push goes through. It's so delayed. It's just on Casa. He's walking up. It's a little bit paranoid there. Just gets connected in the side. Casa goes down.
It's been a very good game from Capers so far. He's been finding the kills when needed. Especially obviously into that round as well. He got 2 of those entry kills into it. But NEDS, so disarray in their camp with that buy has come through, essentially.
It's a bit all over the place, isn't it?
So 1 player with a FAMAS, they're going to be charging B. Oh, they're ready to deal with that. That should get the 4th. Ooh, down to 12 HP. But ultimately, that's still a 3 for 2 in Fierce's favour. They should expect 1 player to still be here because there was only 1 spotted, which means checking every angle, which they do. And you got me thinking again. Caster's been in this situation last round, 1v3, no kit. This time 12 HP, it's even less likely. It's got to be a save. Yeah,
nothing he can really do. It's not worth the risk of going for either, just throwing away that money for no reason. So he's just going to sit in position. Does get seen. Carcass, hungry for it. Snipes him down, Ben, so no opportunity to even hold on to that gear for the next round.
8-5 though. I've got to be thinking, like, NEDS, some of the rounds they picked up, there's been no, like, they haven't built on it.
Yeah.
Right? It's been very one-sided for Fierce in my mind so far.
Definitely looking like the better team on the 1-to-1. So I was going to say, you can see the firepower being restricted there because of Whisk having the less cash as well, so he went for the MP9. However, JCMX and Emmy both pick up an orb.
So Emin seemed very concerned that there was somebody close mid there. If that Molotov had landed, it still would have burnt him there at the actual sandbags. It still would have got him, because the smoke put down was well off. The fact that Hype was still able to get a kill towards B there, if he just checked, they've been playing double sight pretty much every round as well, B. It's been very concerning. I'm surprised they haven't actually exploited it more. Because a B execute onto this site, it's free. If you have the Molotovs there, you basically guarantee you're going to get the kills.
Yeah.
However, this is probably an advantage for NEDS the first time in about 4 or 5 rounds, I think. And it's not off of the fact that they did have 2 AWPs, really. Because the first AWP didn't really get much. The second one hasn't had to do much either. He's been sat at quad. Neither of them making an aggressive play to try and get themselves into the game.
Needs to do something. 50 seconds left on the clock. They're going to make their play over towards the B site. The smoke goes down. Casa sits cowering at the back of the site, waiting for the push to come in. Mog is in close proximity to assist him as well, since the smoke dissipates. They spam through it, though. That's a heavy hit, bringing him down incredibly low. The Org's going to let him down, as Capers is able to survive another incredible feat and keep himself in position to aid his team here, Ben. They've got control of the site. The bomber's just gone down, and this retake needs to be flawless. Ooh, Whisk. Gets the connection on the low player. Capers did not have much health going into that firefight. Whisk dives himself by, trying to upgrade to a better weapon, finds the Kalashnikov as the entire team starts to swarm towards the site. They need to just jump on it. One man can hold it, Carcass. He's got everything to do in no real time. Even with the drive-by, he keeps on rolling, Ben, trying to find these kills. He's hungry for it, gets the second. But there was no possibility of him actually killing the bomb diffuser there. So far away, he had the kit, he jumped on it instantly. It's just one of those awkward rounds for Carcass. You could see the frustration coming through as he just kept on trying to fight.
Amidst all that as well, though, Mog threw away, I think he had an AWP. Or he went to grab the AWP, but got an AK instead. Which means, technically you won the round with 2 AWPs. I wouldn't say it was reliant on them.
No.
But that definitely, you know, plays a factor into your mind, right? And instantly this time, Carcass gets a pick towards B, and he actually carries on going himself here. Completely alone, same thing Hype was doing. Straight alone towards B, forces the rotate from the mid player. Fierce, if they were to go out mid, they've got free roam completely. So Emin actually picked up an AWP on the last round here. I imagine there's an AK somewhere as well, just in case. But you can see NEDS, like, the utility off of winning that round, due to it being down to technically, I would say, a 1v1. It means that they have no nades. Carcass lurk AWPing here into bomb site. Gets him for free, and he actually gets CT control as well. Although Mog should stop him. Somehow, off of not even a flash there, I believe he just won the firefight with an MP9. Still gets 2 kills. Still a weird round being played out with Hype. Probably shouldn't have lived there, but he actually does, and they actually get the half 9-6. It's a bit of a weird one. A lot of these rounds, they come down to situations which are 2v2/3 sort of areas.
Yeah.
And they were just... You felt like we were watching a lot of split picks along the time. Very rarely seeing like that sort of proactive CT side from one of the teams.
It was quite a mixy sort of fight the entire time. You could see that coming through. They were given a lot of leeway to do what they wanted on Fierce as well. T-side was definitely quite open. Interesting to see how things flip over. Obviously for Fierce, more so than anything, really being a team that have been together much longer than NEDS from what we've seen. Yeah. They've also took pretty much, you know, a larger amount of their core team to the Epic LAN. Everyone was there rather than the fact we saw a couple of gaps being filled for NEDS as people were playing for some different teams or weren't available at the time. They definitely should be the better squad on their CT side, if that prep means anything going into this. However, we never know. You know, NEDS can be one of these teams that on the day tend to just start popping heads, but they'd need a really big comeback of momentum on this second half.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that does happen. I mean, one of the issues of that CT side from NEDS just then was the fact that we didn't see much from the beginning aggression, right? So we didn't see much main control from the get-go. I mentioned when they had 2 AWPs, both of them were just stood in very passive/defensive positions, just holding an angle and hoping they get walked into rather than, you know, being proactive and making the play themselves. So P250 drops to Whisk. We've seen that a few times so far. Emmy with the grenades. So again, very similar game from Whisk if we compare it to week 1. You got 3k on the pistol. Since then he's had 3 kills. It was very similar on that Inferno game that we saw a few weeks ago. So the A fake, but they're walking straight into 2 B players. Oh.
They both get a kill apiece. JCMX is the only way to get away. Scurries out there with his tail between his legs after peeling back the scalp from Capers. They're all grouped up. They've got the A site control. They've been able to slowly expand themselves out on towards the bomb site. Mog looks to be the one to take the first confrontation as well. They finally arrive at the bomb. However, they haven't realized there is a Carcass afoot coming in from the rear. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They still need to try and lock this down a little bit better. The CT is going back through. By the time he arrives, all of his teammates have been exterminated, and it's all up to him. In a 1 versus 3, a horrible position to be in for the man, as he is trying, spamming away. He can be peeked from all angles, and that should be Emmy that connects the connection. Eliminates him, Ben. And NEDS pick up that pistol. Quite a vital one as well, to give them a good footing going into the second half.
Yeah, you could see the confidence from them developing as the round went then, because as soon as they start, you see one person get gooched, or actually like dinked, right, from forklifts towards like CT truck, that sort of area. You can see confidence the players start facing even more, and they kept on winning all the firefights. As a CT, it is quite difficult when they are facing from multiple angles and you're retaking from that truck area, because you feel like, well, my head's only being shown anyway. They've got a block, it's not exactly accurate compared to a USP. Well, alas, in that situation, NEDS do come out on top. That does mean 2 pistols as well. And into this anti-eco round, it's a very defensive, I'd say a default really. And Fierce on the other side of things didn't force in. Surprisingly they didn't go for the Deagles as well, because that's what they did win with on the other half. 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get 2 picks towards the front of the site. They get the B stack being pulled away now, though. But that's just as NEDS actually get onto the A site as well. Just a matter of time, I think. They'll get the bomb down in the next 10 seconds. And from there, technically, it's the same saying what I've said in the past, where you don't need to go for the exits. You can, if anything, if you live, you're just denying them $300.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a crazy thing.
Oh. They love a taser, and it never really pays off for them.
Yeah. Interesting to see, I guess. It is just a Mach 10 that they've actually gained there. Hype would like to think he can get more with this. But NEDS, they've got 4 rifles alive. They don't really need to force this peak, at least.
Yeah, most likely not worth the fight. Mog gets a small bit of information, but it is nothing in the grand scheme of things, and
he kind of has to stay here.
He's been able to cross away.
And it only does 33 damage to the bomb plant from there, apparently. Cash is rather inconsistent with some of its walls.
Yeah. You got some thin walls somewhere. Yeah,
because the same thing goes for B site on Cat, all in the same map. Like you can sit in checkers and survive a bomb plant. Bit weird. The glass kind of naught from Hype, and as I mentioned, the CT side meta developing is that you don't get as much utility in this third round buy when you go for it. Hype's gonna be challenged, and that first flash did nothing.
Yeah, it's the initial pick. Just keeps on fighting as well. They're giving him the opportunities. It could have been the 3K, and he would have been set up instantly to go for another shot off as well. Instead, falls back into the 3-on-3. The big old battle for the B-bomb site has kicked off, and they're using that offensive utility well. They've been able to molly off the angles. They can't peek back through, with the smoke going up towards CT as well. Everyone's restricted on the CT side. However, Emin looks to try and be a bit of a playmaker here. He's the one coming back through vents. And him getting into the site is quite critical as well. It can help them out a lot. However, he's going to have to break the vent. They need to go at the same time. Breaks it, causes the commotion. He's already down. JCMX was not ready for him to be so fast in his response there. And that is a rapid clear out. Emin gets himself the 2K. We found another frag coming through in the manner of Carcass as well. That is going to be the defuse. And the 10th round picked up for Fierce off the back of a spectacular opening affair from Hype there with the 2 kills in the rush.
Whichever T-side player was actually towards that blue tarp sort of area, didn't quite have his wits about him, about where he could be seen from, I don't think. I think he thought the player in the vent had his vent covered, which means he couldn't be shot from there. But that, technically, it meant that no matter what, with Emin coming through the vent, the fact he got the kill on the end vent guy anyway, the last player, he was effectively in no man's land. His teammate somehow died before he did. He should technically be the first person in contact in that situation. But instead, we see that situation develop, and the boost plays play for the team. Carcass is out towards the sandbags, I believe. Probably should have done a bit better with it there. He's got no smoke either. Somebody needs smoke for him. Ooh! They get the kill anyway through to the Molotov, but surely there's a better play than trying to fight through the flashes that they've pushed out.
Yeah, and just quite awkward.
Get rid of the molly. Very surprising play, but somehow Fierce coming out on top, apparently. 3v2 in their favour.
Apparently so. I mean, it's now fallen back into this awkward scenario. One of the own T-side players was dinked by his teammate, left him in quite a sticky predicament. The push comes out towards the site, however, and Emmy is just popping off. The timing with the flashbang was quite lazy there as he goes in, but Mog does recoil away. Gives KPiz an opportunity into this round to try and do something. However, there is a trick afoot there, and the bomb has gone all the way around to B.
By the time he gets to B, it'll be before they get in there. This could be concerning. There's no smoke for the cross, only flashes. They double flash it, but I'm surprised KPiz didn't just believe that they wouldn't have been that quick with it.
Yeah.
The small cell will force a player off the angle here, but they can just move forward.
Always burning.
Yeah. I was going to say, there's probably a better angle to go for rather than opening up to the site like that. 1v1 though. Still has a kit. It's a very big round in the grand scheme of things, as both teams, whoever wins, the other one will have to eco.
It's actually just walking in
Mog's
as well.
given his position completely there.
He's just going for it. KPiz going to jump on the bomb. He should just stick it in this scenario, and he probably will get it as well. Oh.
If he scoped, he probably would have potentially got it. That's
yeah.
It's one of those weird situations where, do you expect somebody who's got an AWP to have a kit? Is the other weird question, right? Because obviously they won the previous round, they had 2 alive. It's not exactly like they won with 5 alive or 4 alive. So now it's giving themselves a good opportunity here to tie up the score. due to Fierce not buying into it as well, as I mentioned, that round did mean whoever did win it, they would be able to have, you know, a leapfrog effectively in terms of the scoreline. Nice and easy kill from Jason Max. You can see the confidence coming through though. They recognise pistols. Some players compared to others are very willing to take that fight when they know the other team is under-weaponed, I suppose. Underpowered. Something along those lines.
UP.
Yeah. It's a bit interesting that Whisk only has a CZ there.
I mean, he's made it work so far. Keeps it going as well. Very effective for a site entry there, but a pretty clinical round from NEDS, which are at the time just holding, waiting for the pushes to come towards them. They expected some kind of bolder play there from Fierce, as they didn't really have any weapons to back themselves up with. And it's not gone too badly. They've tied up the scoreline, 10-10 apiece here on Cash. Quite an important one for either of these two teams in their group stage, so they do really need to try and get down to business, Ben, going into these last few rounds.
It really shows how much of a scrappy game this has been when you think there's 4 players currently sitting around 20 kills around. A kill around rather, like 120 now. Because typically you only have, you know, 2 players, maybe 3 at most, doing that. Say if you've got 4, which is a big increase off of that as well. Carcass could do absolutely massive here. Needs that first shot. Really needs that first one. It's a very awkward situation when you're in that spot as well, because it feels like sometimes people just do not, like, they wide swing it or they just suddenly decide to shoulder peek you and you get baited into that first shot. But Ned's actually taken the lead for the first time since probably, it might have been the pistol, I think. Going back at it. The question is, will they be able to keep this up though? Because right now they are taking advantage of the fact that they are the Ts. They're able to maintain a better economy and build from that.
Hype being aggressed on here. Wanted to try and do something. Doesn't actually find the frag on Whisk and will go down. But NEDS have got themselves that 11th round in the bag. And it is going well for them. The investment can finally come out once again though for Fierce as they get the Orgs out. Like it is going to be a big spend on the Orgs this time.
So the AWP from Hype comes out again. Obviously he was successful with it when he did have it towards B. But you can see from the get-go, NEDS, they've got a plan in mind. A is the set goal. Looks like it might be a door burst coming through from them actually. So nades towards mid from Whisk to try and make sure that's being at least contested. It's going to be a simple door burst. 1 smoke and a flash. Emin better be ready. Flash has done a bit, but surely he doesn't get more than 1, which he does not.
Whisk has gone down. It's only 2 players that remain. The Ts are actually falling rapidly into this one. JCMX gives them a little bit of a silver lining, some kind of leeway to build from. They really have to keep on pushing here. Fight 2 for now this round if they want to win it. Utility's dwindling down. Just 2 Molotovs that remain. One of their players has been taken out as well, and it's all on Casa. The wide swing goes in. It doesn't really work out. Zan's going to get the defuse, and that will be all tied up again, as this game is still so back and forth, Ben. It's 11-11.
Yeah, very awkward to have players fall that quickly just as they plant the bomb. Obviously, the confidence was there. They want to take those fights. But there's a time and a place. And I saw towards the end they were using flashes to help each other and everything when they were peeking, but as I said, there's a situation where you should be using those flashes to do that. And obviously, that situation, it was, from what we could see, the wrong idea at the very least. So obviously, this now is, again, a very important round for Fierce because the reset up might potentially come through. Money's a lot better compared to before, but F-Sun's actually got P90, which is unusual. I think he'll make it work though. They know the players will sandbags, but I don't think they'll try and challenge it now. For that 1 kill. Technically have no reason to. Oh, although Jason expecting says, yep, I will. Easy kill.
Gets it. Ooh. Down to the P90. He's able to adjust up, gets the headshot onto Whisk as well. Now gives the game away about his location, but they can't really actively fight this effectively, especially when the assistment's there as well. The Molotov goes flying through, ignites his path. Getting awkward then.
Quite amazing to see the change there, but because Hype originally had the AWP, and he decided, like, they decided let's boost, and I assume Capers must have said, I'll boost you instead, you go up.
Yeah.
And he kind of trusted him to do that. And it works both ways, because obviously you would then trust him to take the AWP off you too. Mog's actually battled right through that mole, and you can see the difference in the gap there. Emmy caught completely out. They still have some money left, is the weird thing about this. Technically, you can buy, but like, you've got two players who'll be very hampered. As you can see, Whisk on a Mac 10, which was dropped to him from Mog. Emmy. Mog can probably drop something else, although I'm not sure if that money value is correct. I think it's 6.7 at the start. Nonetheless, it's 3 acres, a Mac 10 and a pizza 50. They're hoping they can get back on right now rather than actually waiting to see. They'll be against a double AWP setup, that's the kind of concerning thing. And FSUN's actually kept the P90.
Can definitely be quite a annoying weapon if used in the right way.
Flashes come through. They don't 100% know that they're not out. There's the info finally, found by FSUN. Although he's trying to battle some of the events with the P90.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The inaccuracy coming into effect could be a little bit annoying for them. And all of them have just been killed in seconds, Ben. They've all gone down there in a massive fight. Clark is the only one that remains, putting people down. Gets first elimination off on towards Mog. Starts to move his way back around. They're just walking up. Emmy just going to sit in position. Gets tagged to try and bait out. Focuses his attention there towards the rear. He comes back out from Emmy. Bit of a shooting gallery into effect here, as he does just sit by the truck looking for the kills, still finding them. They're basically just burning their economy in front of him.
The thing is, there's not actually much time left on that bomb, either. He's thinking about going in for it. He has a smoke. If he gets the kill on Whisk here... Oh no.
They haven't heard. Oh. This could be awkward, Ben.
That's a very tight timing.
Whisk. He's got to take the shot as soon as he gets there.
If he drops the smoke, he probably still he wins the round. If he dropped the smoke diffuser, he wins the round.
How many of these smoke diffusers? Well, bare minimum ninja diffusers coming out at the end of the round we're going to see. That's 2 of them so far.
And Fierce actually decides to not buy into this properly. Obviously, Capers had the excess cash. We saw him do this on the T side as well. You see it more often on the T side because, simply put, the AWP is a lot more needed on the CT side and a bit more expensive in terms of how much utility you need more than, on the T side, right? I'm interested to see how he works with this M4. On T side, we saw him go boost. He held that angle for quite a while. Didn't really get gifted much of an opportunity. But NEDS have played an anti-eco here. Which means if Carcass goes boost and peaks it, I'm surprised he actually checked that angle like that. Second molly comes out, but it won't land in time. Third molly comes out, which it does land. But surely the trade is there. Interesting to see that much moles of dedication towards that one angle, I suppose. And this is without the information that the M4 is in the round. If you're thinking around where you bought one M4 and then pistols, that you'd be in the 3v3 with the M4 not being seen yet. That's a very good situation to be in. Even more so if Hype managed to get the info here and allow for Capers to make that work, because this vent is broken too.
Capers, the death from above there in the vent off the JCMX, Hype from the rear of the site, trying to get some damage off. Does tag up one player. And the paranoia's already kicked in. Whisk is the one that has to be the hero maker in the round, pushes up towards the site, gets the first kill. Position trying to decapitate the second man, but they're a little bit too quick for him. Whisk's doing everything right now, though. Very effective for that side. Capers, last bit utility going to be just dashed out. That's the flashbang gone in, doesn't do too much. Swings wide for the face as well, loses the confrontation. The NEDS get a 13th round, Ben.
It's not been very clean when they have won these rounds, though. But that usually favours the T side. In the grand scheme of the game, towards that last 6-7 rounds, leading up to 16. The way you win the rounds is very, very important. Because we've seen the damage on the CT side. When they've won some of the rounds where they've lost 2, maybe 3 members, you still don't feel that economic boost that other teams do. Or the other side does, rather.
Interesting enough as well, it is actually going to be the tactical pause from NEDS putting into play. This gives them time, I assume, to keep themselves in the position they're at, not actually throw this one away. Pronax pause, I should win him.
believe it was Kerrigan.
Don't actually used to do it.
Kerrigan did it at 15-3, I think, against Fnatic. That was the big BM one.
Yeah.
That was the big.
See you.
We've won, basically, but let's just take this moment.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, is quite interesting. And FES actually go for the buy. So, as this meta that's developing, it's very crazy, really. You've got one flash. No
that is your entire utility.
It's a very weird, I don't know, it's very unusual. I can't say I'm a fan of it just from the basis of thinking that utility is very important.
The tactical CS side of things.
But obviously the firepower, the org has not been changed despite it getting changed money-wise in October.
Yeah.
They haven't done anything to affect the values of how well it plays. Performs, rather.
And it is definitely starting to overtake. I mean, it's been
overtaken already, isn't it?
That's what I mean. We've seen the first real shift in the graphs of weapon usage for a very long time. So,
the question is, will this last that long though? So Karka's, he'll hear all these nades coming off at mid. He probably thinks he needs to catch one of these players off guard, which is why he's still up on here. He's hoping to catch one of them. That was the single flash used by FSAN as well. He's got half the damage on one player. They now have to win every single firefight.
Ooh, the org might give him the opportunity to do that. The unscrub though from FSAN. It's a bit startled in the fight. Unless you go down as the sideline aggression comes through as well. Hype quickly though on the aggression. Speed rounds. He goes for the Ferrari face and gets the first kill onto Mog. That's back now into the 2 versus 2. Both of the scoped weapons in play for Fierce. Hype starting to move closer. Just waiting for KPIZ to arrive. Slowly dabbling forward. Castor and Whisker, both quite low, Ben. 52 and 50 HP. One of them's killed immediately as well on the exit there. And it all comes down to Castor with a Mach 10 of all weapons. Peeks into it, and they win that round. The firefights go in favor of Fierce. And so there's the 13th round now, keeping it equal once again.
So I'm not really sure why they felt the need to do that flash peek in that 2v2, right? Because obviously the smoke was fading, but it wasn't... Well, it was going to fade in the next 3 seconds or so. Ideally, you want to be charging through it as it's fading, just because sometimes from their POV it doesn't look great to actually clarify if there's a person there or not. But again, there was a situation where they had Molotovs still available. They could have, held off one of the angles with a Molotov. They just know they can't go through that bit unless they take loads of damage on the way. And instead, they gift away a kill. It was very unneeded. 13-13, they go for a pistol armor buy. And even then, the next round buy won't be better. It's 1900. Unless they get a plant, I feel like the buy will not be great, and Fierce would have a free opportunity to go to 15. Assuming they hold back this buy.
Ooh. Well, that's an awkward start. They don't actually know that Hype's in position. They're all diving towards him. He's been gifted the bomb. It's already 2 kills found. Carcass gets traded back upon. It really is just Hype being their saving grace into the round. They're all sprinting at him from a collection of different angles. In the end, it surely just gets a bit too much, and he's overwhelmed. Emin, 1v2. Caster's holding the angle, playing around the box, but it won't even matter. Whisk, he's picked up Hype's org, and he's just going to spray with it. That's actually a hat trick as well. And a very odd round to win there for NEDS. Quite a bizarre one, Ben.
So as a comparison, I mentioned Whisk had 6 kills at the half. Now on 19. Essentially may himself potentially be the top fragger on the side of NEDS. But weirdly, all of their players have got, I think, 17 and up, which is very unusual to see. Like, to have everybody perform very similarly. Nobody having a standout performance, but everybody playing just as well as their own teammates. And first, they have to force into it. They're in a spot where it's essentially double eco. They want to try and get that eco back. But it feels like momentum's gone the other way now. Hype makes that one play towards B. You lose someone that early as well. Not even like he gained any map control either, you just find out there was an AWPer there. Very rough situation. And NEDS are just waiting for that next play. They've still got 1:10 on the clock. They don't need to rush into anything. They know we'll just hold these angles for, just about 15 seconds longer. We'll see if they walk into us. But JCMX will be hearing all of that movement. However, it makes you wonder, has he heard that movement and thought they've pulled off of A, or does he think they're playing more towards site? If they're playing towards site, it means we can Molotov every single corner, we can Molotov quad, MBK, throw on to site as well, Molotov forklift. That seems to be the plan now. It'll be very bad news for this.
There comes the aggression. Site control, faltering under the pressure. There's 2 kills are found, one on top of Carcass, the other one being Fazan that gets gunned down. It is all up to Capers. Performing very well for Fierce in today's game. But this is a ridiculously tall order though, Ben, even with the low HP. He's got to get 1 shot off with the Deagle onto each of them. Give them the taste of the Capers medicine. Slowly pushes his way up. It's about timing though. There's no kit. Mog connects it. It's an easy flick on the orb. And that is the 15th round. This is a broken bank on Fierce as well versus the absolute stone wall that Neds have going into this last one potentially.
The weird thing is it felt like they were kind of gifted a chance into the round as well. Because obviously, I believe it was Efsan at Forklift. He still managed to get 2 kills and damage across. And it kind of makes you wonder, 1 bullet difference there changes the way this game looks. 15-13, Ned's in a very good position to take it. Fierce have to kind of make plays again. You can see they're planning to go towards boost. But the Molotovs coming out kind of make it so Efsan can't do that.
No, it doesn't really have much of a chance. And the headshots are being dropped on them as well. Luckily the smoke will fade. Cape is still there trying to get the flick up the CZ Ben, but all things are going wrong. This is looking more and more like it should be a Ned's game secured. As we get into this position, bombarding their way up towards the site. That's the final kill found as Hype will go down. And there is the victory.
Very unfortunate game, I think, from Fierce's point of view, because you could see the battle of the CT side coming through, right? The battle of the economy in CT, where you're not able to get consecutive buy rounds in properly. And obviously that kind of, you saw the payoff of being able to actually get that going if you were to. And ultimately, I mean, Neds, they performed when they needed to, but I gotta say, the B-holds from both sides kind of lacked against those eco rounds, because it happened both sides. Neds did win a round where they were just pistols, got into that B site, won it. Yeah. And then obviously at 13-13, the same thing happened.
They looked quite exposed as well with a lot of the B side holds. You know, most of the time we saw them just walking in and just getting absolutely destroyed in the early entry. That round as well, especially where we lost Capers straight away on top of the boost box. Hype kind of tried to make it work, got himself with a 3K, tried to build from that, but it's just ultimately way too much for one person to do from that position when you're trapped on site anyway, which is not where you want to be. Yeah,
I felt like there was a big delay in reinforcements arriving as well, because he was alive on that side for a good 10 seconds after his first contact, maybe 15. It was kind of, he's ran out of bullets in every weapon at that point basically, and obviously whoever was arriving, they got taken out on the way there, which very unfortunate obviously, but that is the round you'd look at in your memory when you're thinking, how did we lose this game? That's the round you look at, because that was not a full buy from Neds either. That was some pistol armor, nothing else.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward one, obviously. Some of the setups could do with some work, a little bit of fine-tuning, and that's unfortunate for Fierce, because they had a good run obviously versus CX. They looked like they were starting to get themselves in a position to potentially dominate their group if they could keep on playing like that. However, when it came down to it today, those last few rounds, I think the org buys just got to them. There was no cash left in the economy. The amount of times we saw that big investment for the org buys and the low utility buy, if they might have had some smoke some of the times, I mean, they could have delayed it way longer into those rounds. And they were all quite close, so potential there that the new meta not quite paying off for some of these teams at the minute. Definitely quite risk-heavy.
Yeah, very risk-heavy, and obviously on the CT side as well. If you need grenades to be able to make things happen, and they just couldn't get it.
Yeah, unfortunate stuff. There is more to come, though. We're back up with our second game of the night after this. In the meantime, enjoy the replays, and we'll see you there.